On this week's episode on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we're going to go through Bloods and Guts match and whatnot and talk about what happened in that match and the brutality that Moxley and his crew took it this past Wednesday. And we're going to talk about the Pac and the Takeshita leaving BCC, fend for themselves against the Golden Elite. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about LA Knights and whatnot, and the situation of him being part of a United States Invitational four-way match, but yet he doesn't win the match. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonored. We're going to talk a little bit of some of the matches that happened there and whatnot. And we're going to talk a little bit of New Japan and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, with another episode here today and whatnot. We're in the Four Horsemen's lair. Yes, it's dark. Whatever. I like it this way so I could think better and whatnot. But let's start off with Bloods and Guts. What happened this past Wednesday and whatnot. The way it finished. You know, my main concern was before the match was about how is it that Kota Ibushi was going to make his debut on a dangerous match and whatnot, but it turned out to be good for him, but bad for the BCC and whatnot. And Tony Khan was a very smart man for the way to start the match and this double cage match, double ring, and when he started off the match with Kenny Omega versus Claudio. Now, how many of you did not dream of a match between Kenny Omega and then known as Cesaro back in the days? You probably would have wanted to see that. Well, Tony Khan delivered the way he does deliver, been delivering lately and whatnot. And that was Kenny Omega versus Claudio in the beginning of the Bloods and Guts match between these guys. And it was pretty good for the first 5 minutes. You saw, of course, Omega doing what Omega does best and whatnot. And Claudio, I mean, started off real quick with a lot of uppercut forearms and whatnot. But the match changed very drastically when Pac, who was the second man to enter the ring since BCC had the one man advantage, that's when everything started to boil. Because Pac went in there and he went right after Kenny Omega while Claudio was still attacking him. And at one point, you saw Claudio kind of looked at Pac like, "What are you doing?" And it happened several times during the match and whatnot. And this continued as double assault until Hangman Page came in and then made it even. But then when Moxley, yes, John Moxley, the man who's been getting into it with stitches in his head for this month alone, I mean, the July 4th week, he was in two bloody ass matches with Desperado in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Independence Day. So here he is. He comes in the ring and he comes in the ring with a screwdriver and starts stabbing Kenny Omega in the head with the screwdriver. So he did the same thing with Hangman Page, and it was a 3-on-2. That's when Nick Jackson came in and whatnot. And when Nick Jackson came in and whatnot, already there was glass in the ring already and whatnot. Because who brought it? John Moxley brought glass in there. And of course, John Moxley was the first one to taste glass because Nick Jackson, drop kick him into the glass. He Hurricanrana Claudio into the glass, but then Kenny Omega suffered the consequences for that also because then he got suplexed into the glass. And I'm like, I felt so bad for Omega because Omega's been battling injuries for the past a year and a half. And when he's coming back from all those injuries he had in 2020, 2021, and here he is getting, body slam on top of glass. Then after that, we saw I believe uh I believe it was Wheeler Yuta who came in with a chair, and he used that against Nick Jackson. He suplexed him on the damn chair at one point, and then things got a little even and whatnot when Matt Jackson came in. So and it was somewhere in the middle toward the ending of the match. Takeshita came in. When Takeshita came in, that's when Moxley took it to the next level. He took it to violent 101, or maybe violent 101 times 1,000, and brought in a bed of nails. I haven't seen a bed of nails like that since FMW with Onita and Terry Funk, or Sabu and Terry Funk. Okay, a bed of nails. This man put that bed of nails in the corner of the ring. Went to throw Omega against it. Omega put the brakes on, only to turn around and get drop kicked to the damn bed of nails. Then Moxley then went and picked him up, body slammed him. Actually, he put the bed of nails flat on the ring and then body slammed Omega on it. It was sick. But then Ibushi again came in. Ibushi was met by Wheeler Yuta in the top rank, only to get hit in the throat by Ibushi. He came in and he hit Takeshita with a forearm to the chest. It looked like he hit him also in the throat. Then Moxley and Ibushi went at it and whatnot, only for Moxley then to taste the bed of nails and whatnot. And Takeshita then went and not Takeshita, Ibushi went and did a standing moonsault on top of Moxley while he was laying in the bed of nails. So that was part of the brutality that was going on. We saw Matt Jackson on top of the cage giving Yuta Northern Light super like 3 times. And I said to myself, please don't let nobody else fall in the damn off the cage. Because the last time we saw somebody fall off the cage was Sammy Guevara last year when Eddie Kingston threw him off the cage and whatnot. The year before that was Chris Jericho getting thrown up by MJF, but he landed in a mattress full of cardboards. Remember that? And people were just making fun of that. As much as I try to defend it, it was cardboard with the matches on the bottom of the cardboards. So you can, but this time it didn't happen and whatnot. But Matt Jackson found a bag of thumbtacks and started throwing them in between the fencing, and it landed on the floor. And Claudio and Moxley got backdrop on that. But to make this matters worse, the whole thing for BCC blew off when Claudio hit Pac by mistake, and these guys started having issues. And Joseph Keston holding Pac back, and then you had Moxley holding the rest of the guys back, and Pac walked out. As soon as that happened, Takeshita was told by Don Callis, get out of the ring because now they were outnumbered, leaving BCC to defend themselves on their own. Claudio and Moxley got handcuffed in the ring, and then they went to work on Yuta, made him bleed, and Moxley had to surrender in order to protect Yuta. So now I figure, well, now Don Callis is going to have to pay the price. But apparently, what we saw Death Before Dishonor, because of what happened Wednesday, we had a match between Pac and Claudio because Claudio needed a challenger because Mark Briscoe got hurt. So that match was set up between Pac and Claudio for Death Before Dishonor. So apparently, I guess nothing really is going to happen with BCC, but I'm sure BCC is going to try to get even. And we're going to have to wait till Wednesday to see what happens with Don Callis. I mean, Don Callis right now is trying to build a family, as we saw this past Wednesday also. It's not making the JAS very, very happy because we saw Sammy Guevara and Danny Garcia looked at Chris Jericho like he was crazy and walked off after they lost to MJF and Adam Cole. Speaking of MJF and Adam Cole, we also saw how Adam Cole and MJF already started arguing because Adam Cole was holding the AEW World title in his hand, trying to give it to MJF, but he got caught looking at it while MJF turned like, "What are you doing with my belt?" But MJF and Adam Cole are now going to face FTR next Saturday at Collision for the FTW. I mean, for not the FTW, the AEW tag team belts. So I could see. MJF saying to Adam Cole, let's do double clothesline. And when they hold each other, he's going to clothesline Adam Cole. And he's not going to give a rat's ass about winning the tag team titles because he has the world title. The Triple B, baby. So it's going to happen. And then to top it off, we may see Roderick Strong turning on Adam Cole. And maybe he'll be helping MJF and whatnot. So we'll see about that. So that then we saw the FTW title change hands on Wednesday with Jack Perry defeating Hook. Hook suffering his first loss this week, which pretty much, it's it kind of surprised me that they used Jack Perry to beat him, but nothing wrong with that. We're getting losing to one of the pillars of AEW. But now my question: are they going to sanction the AEW? I'm actually not the FTW belt. Are they going to sanction as a major title in AEW? I doubt that, but we'll see. But they got a little storyline going on there, so we'll see about that. Also, I think that was it for AEW Dynamite this week. Let's go to WWE this week. LA Knight. He was in a four-way invitation, United States Invitational match for get an opportunity to wrestle for the United States title. Apparently, WWE felt that they were not going to give him the win. Even though he did not get pinned, he did not win the match. And Rey Mysterio was given that opportunity to face Santo Escobar in the finals, whatever, to then face Austin Theory. LA Knight got screwed once again. Now, my thing is, why they continue to delay this man's push? I'll give you an answer for that. Number one, what people are failing to realize, especially WWE fans, that LA Knight was not created in WWE. He created himself outside of WWE as Eli Drake. And the gimmick he has now, it was from Impact when he was an Impact World Champion. You think WWE and Vince McMahon are going to allow a man who was not built in WWE and is getting over in WWE to get pushed? That is not going to happen. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of people have a lot of hope and wishing that this could happen. But. Let me get a little stick on my throat. It's getting dry. But. That's not going to happen. Simple fact, and I say this because people are expecting him to be at the God mode level. And the God mode level is a Roman Reigns level. He's not going to go there. They're not going to give him that. In case you guys don't, it's like I feel like when I speak to WWE fans, you could tell they don't do their research. Of course, they don't do their research because, this is the same people who think that, Roman Reigns is the 1,040 something days champion and he passed Hulk Hogan. Yeah, okay, whatever. The thing is that people don't understand that Vince McMahon does not like anyone to become bigger than the company. You think Vince McMahon's not listening to the crowd chanting LA Knight and how they go crazy for him? He knows, but he's not going to give you that satisfaction because he already did you guys a favor. Because you don't remember what he did for you guys when they made Kofi Kingston the world champion. Remember that in 2019? And then we saw him destroy in a matter of 6 seconds by using Brock Lesnar to beat Kofi Kingston on the first episode of Fox SmackDown when SmackDown came to Fox. Y'all remember that? I'm giving you a little history lesson. The history lesson is McMahon is not going to give this man a push. Okay? Maybe he'll give him to the United States title, but he ain't getting no further than that. If it was Triple H, maybe. But let's be realistic. Everybody's blaming Triple H. Triple H is not writing some of this. In case you guys don't remember, there's a creative war going on between Vince McMahon and Triple H. But nobody's mentioning this. I'm seeing it. It was proven at Money in the Bank when WWE had that pay-per-view going on. When Vince McMahon brought in Logan Paul and he wanted him to win that. And then you had Triple H talking about, no, I want LA Knight to win it. And at the end, they couldn't come to a conclusion and Damian Priest won it. Come on, guys. You guys got to wake up. You can't be complaining about something and act like you've never seen this before. Y'all guys even complain about, oh, it happened to Cesaro, it happened to Miro, it happened. This is always gonna happen. This is not one of their favorites. And you guys gotta come to that realization that he's not gonna win the world title. He's not. Oh, he's gonna be all right. Oh, he didn't get pinned. It doesn't matter if he got pinned, he didn't get pinned. The bottom line is he was part of that invitation. He should have won it. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. If he's getting the he's getting over with the fans. He should get pushed. I'm not an LA Knight fan, and I kept saying it. Okay, but he should get pushed. But McMahon's not gonna do that. This is not the WWE way. You guys gotta come to that realization. He's not gonna do anything. He's not. You know, look what every week the pay-per-views are good, but the shows Monday and Friday are horrible. Okay, we saw that this week on Monday Night Raw. I mean, you saw Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan lose their belts after holding it for 17 days to Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Why? Why these women's belts? Why? Because they're gonna put Liv Morgan to feud with Rhea Ripley or Raquel Rodriguez because Rhea Ripley needs challengers. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we saw Cody Rhodes getting beat up against by Brock Lesnar and put in a Kimura, but he didn't break his arm this time. And they still haven't explained why he attacked him. It's been 4 months. Nothing's getting done. Gunter just beat Matt Riddle again. Shayna Baszler just pretty much told the truth about Ronda Rousey this past Monday. Now you see Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders in a stupid fight every week. The same fights, the same matches. You tell me that's not a Vince McMahon move? SmackDown, I didn't watch it because I really don't care for SmackDown. Only because of the Bloodline. I saw the Bloodline part. But come on, you guys can't complain about something. You know this man is not going to do none of that stuff. He's not. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you're happy about it or not. He's not. Doesn't care. Also, Ring of Honor had the pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, and there was a couple of matches there that I like. But beginning of the show, the pre-show, we saw Shane Taylor versus AR Fox. And I was like, wow, you got Shane Taylor in the pre-show? Like, Shane Taylor was one of the mainstay in Ring of Honor, one of the guys who carried the company during during the bad times that they were going through. And he carried it. And you still haven't given this man a world title shot? He should be world champion. He should be the guy who beat Claudio for the world title. But you got him losing to AR Fox. And it's understandable that he lost to AR Fox because AR Fox is about to get a title shot from Orange Cassidy for the AEW International title coming up on Wednesday. But, it's crazy to see that, But I don't know. But there was a couple of matches with like Commando versus Gravity. Gravity is the little brother of Bandito. He wrestled Commando. That match was like a Mexican lucha libre match. We saw Dalton Castle versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe won by cheating because Hadaway or Hardaway, whatever his name is, he used to be part of the firm, is not like a big GM in there now, and he helped Samoa Joe get the win. The tag team four-way, that was a great tag team four-way between Aussie Open, Best Friend, The Kingdom, and Lucha Brothers, who was a champion. And Aussie Open won the World Tag Team titles. Again, Aussie Open should be, and I'm going to say right now, that should be the world, not the World Tag Team, they are the World Tag Team Ring of Honor, but they should be Tag Team of the Year. They already won the IWGP Tag Team Championship. They won the New Japan Pro Strong Championship. And now they won the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion. AEW title are next. Okay? They're going to win those tag team belts. And why not? You can't say, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Hey, FTR did it. Well, we're going to watch the FTR versus Aussie Open. We're going to see it. And we'll probably see it all in. And I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. So that match was pretty good. I like that. One match also that caught me off guard that I wasn't expecting. Actually, before that match happened, we saw the Shibata versus Daniel Garcia. That match was pretty good. The ending was kind of a little funny because Shibata slapped the soul out of Daniel Garcia, and then put him in a sleeper hole. And Garcia started doing that dance, and he kind of almost passed out, and then he got PK by Shibata, which is a kick to the chest while he's sitting down. The opponent sitting down, and he ends up retaining the pure title against Daniel Garcia. So that was a good match. It was a pretty good match. Then you had a match that I didn't even expect. It was the Righteous, which is Vincent, Stu Grayson, who was part of Dark Order, and I forgot the other guy's name. Was a big dude that hangs out with Vincent, against Dark Order with Evo Uno, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. This match was like watching Bloods and Guts all over again. This is anything goes match. These guys, they tore Evo Uno's mask and made him bleed. Stu Grayson, I think Stu Grayson was bleeding. I think he was bleeding a little bit. Um, Benson was bleeding. It was a crazy match. Dark Order ended up winning that when they took Stu Grayson. They kind of do like a crucifix like slam on top of Legos and thumbtacks. Yep. It looks like Mr. Tony Khan likes ECW too much because we had another hardcore match 48 hours after we saw Blood and Guts. Unbelievable. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling had the G1 Climax going on. So far, the leaders are Okada, David Finlay, Evil. I believe Zack Sabre Jr. I think Eddie Kingston. He hasn't been. I don't think he has lost a match. You got all these guys in there who are ahead already. I think David Finlay is going to end up winning the G1 Climax 33. I don't see Okada winning it. It may come down to Okada and David Finlay, and maybe Finlay will get over on that match. So we already seen a couple of upsets. We saw Tangaloa beat Kenta. We saw Taishi beat Will Ospreay, who's the United States champion. We saw Eddie Kingston defeat Shingo Takagi, who is the Kino. No, he was the Kino Pro Wrestling champion. But he beat the former champion. So we already seen a lot of little upsets here and there. So that is cool. That's why I love the G1 Climax. That's one of the best tournament in wrestling. That's nothing but the Battle of Los Angeles and the G1 are the best tournaments in wrestling. You know, it can't ask for nothing. Impact this week we saw Alex Shelley confront Josh Alexander. Leo Rush came in. He's the X Division champion, and he said he will take option C to get a title shot at Alex Shelley. But then he was interrupted by Kushida, who won the X Division match, so he gets a title shot, only for them to get jumped by Moose, Brian, and who was it? And Moose. So it was Moose, Brian, and Bubba Ray Dudley. So they still with this Bubba Ray Dudley, and um, it looks like it's gonna get good, but I'm scared to start watching it because I feel like I'll start investing in that, and the next thing you know, that doesn't turn out the way it is. Because I mean, Impact has messed up so much in the last year and a half. They had that I don't know more storyline that messed that up. They could have had a chance to have a good storyline with the Bullet Club. Instead, they I don't know what the hell they've been doing, but every time they're doing something good, they bring Tommy Dreamer back. You already know what I'm talking about. So I don't understand it. So even though Trinity, who used to be Naomi, won the women's championship, the Knockouts championship. So I'll probably check out Slammiversary. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna check it out, see how that's going and whatnot. So that's pretty much, I believe, all the stuff that has happened. Ray Phoenix, he relinquished his AAA titles, which it was the internet. It was the cruiserweight AAA's title that he relinquished, and the Latin American uh, title that he relinquished. And he never defended those belts. He won it last year in June of 2022 by defeating Bandito, Laredo Kid, Torres in a four-way. So he never he never defended him. So, and then he got, he said he got international commitment, which is true. Nick Aldis, he's done with Impact Wrestling. And of course, you got the WWE droids talking about, oh, he's coming to WWE. He is not coming to WWE because of what Bruce Pritchard said about his wife, um, Mickey James. And it was something bad that he said that even Nick Aldis had to put him on blast on Twitter. So they do not get along. When you think that he's going to come to WWE, where he knows that man, Bruce Pritchard, is still there. Vince McMahon lackey, and you think they're not going to bury him in WWE? Oh, they will. So Seth Rollins said he should probably get surgery on his lower back, but is trying to avoid it. He had an interview where he says he has several injuries. His knee was bothering him before WrestleMania 39. He's been having issues with his back. He feels that he needs surgery. He has a fracture in his hernia, fractured disc in the back. The man's all beat up. But that's why I feel like the rumor that was going around that Damon Priest is going to cash in his Money in the Bank during SummerSlam. I see Seth Rollins beating Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title, or actually retain it. And I think Damon Priest is going to turn around and cash in the Money in the Bank and become the champion. So I see that happening. He said he got a nagging injury, so he's been fighting beat up. So he said he has taken stem cells. He's been trying, but he said that's only been temporarily. So Dominic Mysterio won the NXT North American title. This is what WWE's been doing now, bringing in the main roster guys to help that show out because Nick Khan wants to make this his third brand. They should have done this in 2019 when they had the black and gold and they had one of the best roster of wrestlers in there. But it is what it is now. 4 years later, this is what they have, and now they're bringing in main roster. Do you really want to see guys from Raw, SmackDown you see on Monday and Friday at NXT? Really? I mean, I don't watch NXT, but the whole thing that Dominic Mysterio won the NXT North American Championship by beating West, and then what was supposed to be Mustafa Ali, and they changed it last minute. Now you got Dominic to go against Mustafa Ali at Great American Bash, and it doesn't make no sense. I don't know where they're going with that. Booker T commented on Silas Fatu debut, who is Omaga's son. He said he felt Omaga's presence in the arena. I think Silas Fatu will definitely show up at WWE somewhere down the line. They'll probably become new members of the bloodline. Anything can happen with that. I mean, he looks good in the ring. Yeah, he looks like he know what he's doing. But of course, we're talking about the Fatu family. They just Nan family. Those guys from the generation of the Peter Vivia, the Samoans. They know. You see what they have. I mean, you got Roman Reigns. You got Jacob Fatu. You got the Usos. I mean, you got a wide range of Samoans and guys who wrestled in the past that are pretty good. So, Teddy Hart, remember him? He got arrested again. Cobb allegedly found ecstasy and steroid in his car because he got caught speeding on his 2022 Mustang. They found ecstasy, steroids, testosterone pills, marijuana. This man was carrying a whole damn pharmacy in his car. Teddy Hart used to be one of good wrestlers in MLW, part of the New Heart Foundation with Davey Boy Smith. And he just threw his career away, which is pretty sad if you ask me. But it is what it is, and this is what he's been up to lately. So I mean, it's sad to say, but it is what it is. That is it for me, guys. For this episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. You want to follow me and whatnot. Just follow me through YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. This will be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, of course. So check that out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for new uploads, and hit that thumbs up. That will help greatly and whatnot. You can also find my the video podcast also in audio podcast format. So you can check it out on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, any audio podcast platform that you guys like to listen. On my social media, Of course, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the biggest of them all, my podcast store where I got t-shirts, hats, hoodie. You go to tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Again, that's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. So you can check that out and see my t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and saying, and register to the website. You could register to the website. You can get access to the YouTube channel and the audio podcast platform, and you can listen to any which way you want to. Again, this will be an audio podcast platform. So again, thanks everybody, all my supporters. We're trying to get at least 300. Again, 300 subscriber. We're up to 271. Only 29 more. So share this podcast, guys. And let everybody know who loves wrestling that this podcast is all about pro wrestling. Nothing but the truth here. And when I'm telling lies, that's what I say. Same what we're seeing Punk says. Tell me when I'm telling lies. But that is it for me again. We'll talk very soon. We'll be back next week with new content, new developments. Hopefully, we'll see what happens this Wednesday with this whole thing with Don Callis and all this nonsense. We will see what happens. So until then, guys, I will see you next week. Top Guy out.